Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Ethan Rowling, and I'm the host of the Conversations with Chris and Ethan podcast. On this platform, we talk about various topics surrounding the Scott County Sheriff's Office and Chris's viewpoints on those topics. Through this platform, we hope that you will come to know Chris and his stances on these topics, and in doing so, we hope he can earn your vote. Chris is running in the Republican primary in June of 2024, and as a reminder, we're always looking to engage with the community and answer any questions you may have. So if you'd like us to address a specific topic on the podcast, feel free to reach out to any of our social media platforms.
Well, we're past 2023. I originally announced that I was running for Scott County Sheriff in February of 2023 and just started in the planning phases of getting, stuff set up, getting social media sites set up and learning about that, even though I've never been on social media before. And getting all the paperwork filed with the state, getting bank accounts set up, all the stuff that you have to do in order to run a campaign or, a nonprofit organization or anything like that. So we really didn't start taking anything as far as donations or contributions or start any fundraising till, I would say, I believe it was July or August. I know we started, I started putting money into the account and everything out of pocket like in the May time frame to get the bank accounts and everything set up and start buying some initial marketing stuff and things, because we did have the parades coming up. We were going to be in all the parades. I believe we hit every parade except for the Long Grove Strawberry Festival parade. So we had representation in every single one of those just because of a great group of volunteers that we had that were dedicated to making sure that we were getting the word out and getting our message out about what we wanted to do. We had a couple fundraising events. We had a poker run, motorcycle ride to raise some money, and then we also had a golf outing, which was very extremely well organized and put together and headed up by Josh to get that up and going. And it was a very successful event. We had a great turnout. Shout out to Josh Wall. He is probably the man behind the scenes that keeps us all straight, keeps us in line, and keeps us going in the right direction. I think Josh has done an amazing job of taking my objectives and my priorities and my goals and my intent and being able to transform that into a plan that to make sure we have a successful campaign.
I agree.
He's the voice of reason. He keeps us on the high road and he keeps us doing the right thing and being positive in everything that we do, which is what we want to do. We want to put a positive message out there about how we want to bring positive change to the Scott County Sheriff's Office and the community and the county, and set it up for success for a better tomorrow and a better future, and get, young individuals coming into this profession, get them lined up so that they can learn how to be great leaders and take the sheriff's office into the next generation. So starting to raise money around the June, July time frame, 7 month time period there. I think we are going to finish up with right around approximately $14,000 that we were able to bring in campaign contributions and donations. I know Josh is working on the financial reports right now to get them filed with the state ethics board. So that's pretty much how we brought 2023 to a close. And now for the next 5.5, 6 months, our objectives and our goals are, to get more people out there, get more people involved, get more awareness, and just basically bring this thing home so that we can let people know how positive we want to be in the future.
I think you brought up a couple good points that you kept saying we instead of I or me. Because I think one of the kind of unique things about this campaign is it's not just you. It is a team of a bunch of us that are, everybody has their own little parts. Josh does do a little bit of everything and kind of keeps everybody on track. And he's kind of the bumper for everybody to, hey, what do you think about this? And we all do a pretty good job about bouncing stuff off of each other. It's not, while yes, you are the face and you are the person that would be elected into office, this is really a team effort, which is what excites me about this whole campaign. Is if we're successful, this is the kind of energy that I hope for within the sheriff's office. This reminds me a lot of the military. Like, it's not any one soldier that is doing everything. Everybody has their own part. Everybody is a cog in the machine, and everybody contributes. And if everybody can work in tandem with each other towards a goal, it's so much more effective than just putting it all in one person. So if you were just running for sheriff by yourself, I don't think the campaign would look anything like what it does. And I think that that's something for the community to latch on to, is there's a lot of people supporting this, and we're hoping to grow those numbers even more. When we go to events like these parades and stuff, there's always 10, 15 of us at minimum doing, various things for this campaign, talking to people, passing out candy, running around, building the floats, stuff like that. Where if you look at other people running, it's normally a person with maybe a couple in tow. Granted, we've been doing this for coming up on a year now. You said you started in February. So some people may argue that it's been a little bit early. We've been going a little bit before. I know we've gotten some comments about our signs being up, that apparently some people think that these signs have been up too early because the campaign's not even until, well, the election is not until November. Primary is in June. So some people have brought up, well, isn't it too early to be putting those up? And I don't think it is. First off, we're showing the community about those that are passionate about this cause. Second off, there's legally nothing wrong with putting these signs up. And it's not like we are putting up a controversial sign about something. It's just in support of your campaign.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand people's complaint. It's not like we're, blowing up people's phones and, and sending 12 texts a day that you're going to be in Davenport for a meet and greet or something like that, like the presidential campaigns have been doing. These are very low, non-intrusive means of people to show their support for your campaign. Which, as a easy segue there, if you would like a Chris Slay for Sheriff campaign sign, be sure to reach out to us either on Facebook, on Chris's website, chrisslayforsheriff.com. You can sign up and get a sign. We'll drop it off and put it up for you.
And it's interesting that you bring up the signs. The whole reason, and I sat down, with my advisors when I was getting into this, and, when I was talking about, when should we put signs out? And, the advisors were like, there's never a wrong time and there's never a right time to put a sign out. And through that discussion, we agreed because, as a lot of people know, I'm not from the area. I didn't grow up here. I wasn't born and raised here. I moved here following my wife's career, and nobody really knew me from the area, and they don't know what I was about. So by getting our signs out there early and getting them up, I was getting my name out there so that I could introduce conversation with individuals who have lived here their whole lives and wanted to know why I wanted to run for sheriff and be the sheriff of Scott County. And on these signs, let's just think for a minute, not one time have we gone to anybody and said, hey, can we put a sign in your yard? Every single sign that is up and everyone that is out there is at the request of somebody wanting a sign at that location. So for, some individuals in the community, to get upset because we have campaign signs out there early. There was a question recently introduced to the Secretary of State, Pape, about what's the rules or laws as far as campaign signs, and the Secretary of State, Pape, simply said the state has no laws or rules as when you can put a sign up. You can put a sign out there anytime you want to, and we're not going to govern that. I just think some people don't like our message getting out there, and the positive feedback we're getting from more and more people that are entering into discussions with us and, saying, you know what, we really want to see change. And,
I see these signs as, like I said, the easiest, lowest level of intrusion way to get our message out. Obviously, we're recording this podcast so that we can be clear and transparent with the public and pass your message along without having to badger people and say, hey, can we talk to you about this? Can we talk to you about that? We're putting this information out here so that if people choose to go seek it out, it's here for them to digest at their leisure on their time. We are going to be going out in the future here and trying to make contact with people and inform them about you and your campaign. But the easiest way that we've found so far to spread the message is by being out there at the parades and letting people see us and see the support. And through that, people have requested signs. You were getting requests for signs before we even had them made.
yes.
So this has been all at the request of those that have them. And the biggest benefit to them is they're not hurting anybody. And it gets your name out there so people can talk to the person that has the sign and say, hey, what's up with this guy? And then they can hear from them, hey, I trust this dude. I think that he's got good ideas. This is what he said to me. And you're an open book. You're open for people to reach out to you on the Facebook. You are in charge of the Facebook page for your campaign. Like, there's not some, intern sitting there controlling this stuff. Like, you are a very approachable, accessible individual. So putting the signs out there just gets your name out, and we are more than open to having a discussion with anybody about anything, even if it's not something that you necessarily agree with. Everybody is not going to agree on every topic. That's why politics exist, is you are electing officials that represent an amalgamation of what your values are. Not everybody in Scott County is going to vote for you, and we understand that. But I still think that you are the best candidate to bring everybody's ideas home together, because you are willing to sit down and have a conversation like this. You're willing to hear other people's ideas.
And, that kind of goes back to one of our earlier episodes in podcast when we were talking about transformational leadership. Everybody's got to have buy-in.
Right.
Within the agency, all the employees got to have buy-in. In this campaign, everybody, and make another known fact here, other than Josh Wall, I have not asked a single person to volunteer or do anything for this campaign. Everybody has done it out of the graciousness of their heart. They have approached us and say, hey, how can we help? Or we have an idea. Can we do this? So everybody from the campaign has buy-in to how this campaign is being run. We normally have regular meetings where we sit down and discuss, okay, what's our way forward? It's not bringing somebody in to manage everybody and delegate and, being able to tell people how we need to run a campaign. We as a team working as one body have come together and have really made this into a positive movement. And then once elected sheriff, my philosophy also is everybody from the community has to have buy-in about how we perform law enforcement operations within Scott County. And we've got to also remember that what we do in Scott County doesn't only affect the citizens of Scott County. We're in a unique geographical area that what we do on this side of the river bleeds over to the other side of the river in Rock Island County and Henry County and Mercer County and Whiteside County. What we do over here affects them as well.
Right.
And what we do in Scott County affects Cedar County, Jackson County, Clinton County, Muscatine County, and we have to take all of that into consideration. So getting buy-in from all those entities is very important to make sure that we stay on track and focused in a positive movement. Man, we hit on some good points there, but getting back to the actual campaign. So everybody took a well-needed break over the holidays, got some rest, got to spend some time with their families. I consistently told people, be with your families, take care of your families. We've all worked hard this winter, this fall. We got to take time for ourselves and take time for our families. And now it's time to get back in the groove. The Iowa caucuses are coming up on Monday. There's been a lot. Everybody's been inundated with the presidential campaign stuff, which is a highly charged, emotional campaign between numerous candidates. So we need to get past this milestone, and then the end of January, we're looking to start sending out mailers related to our campaign to let people know, hey, we're coming through your area, we're coming to your township, we're coming to your city, your small town, and we are going to knock on your door and we are going to have a discussion with you. It's not going to be a long discussion. We don't want to be obtrusive, and we just want to knock on the door, say, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're about, this is what we want to change, and this is the way we can do it. 30, 45 seconds, a minute at your door just to shake your hand and say, thanks for being a citizen of the community, and this is what we want to do for you. So that's going to be starting up pretty soon, and we're planning on going around and knocking on doors February, March, April, May, clean up to the June 4th primary. But we also have some events that are coming up as well. On February 3rd, we are going to have a cornhole or a bags tournament starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, February 3rd at the Bluegrass Community Center. It's going to be indoors. There's going to be a food truck there to provide food. They're going to have adult beverages available for the adults that can partake in that. And we're just going to have a good old time doing that. And then starting at 5 o'clock that evening at the Bluegrass Community Center, same food truck, same adult beverages, but we're also going to have a trivia night as well. We're looking to fill a minimum of 25 tables with teams of 8. Even if you're an individual or you're a couple and you want to come out, we'll put you at a table with other people that don't have a complete table, and we'll get this thing going, and we're just going to have a good all day long affair, hosting 2 events to get our message out there, bring awareness, and, get some positivity back into the community.
Right. They're both going to be good whole family activities. And then obviously the added benefit is that you're going to be there all day. You're available for questions or just conversations, just to be able to put a face to the name.
Bluegrass is a good central hub for the west side of the county. If you live in Buffalo, if you live in Walcott, if you live in Bluegrass, if you live in New Liberty, Donahue, come on down to Bluegrass. Like you said, I'm going to be there all day. I'm going to be there just to talk to people. People who want to get to know me and want to get to know what I'm about, and know where we want to take this campaign. I'm going to be available for them. Just like if elected into the office of sheriff, I'm going to be there for the citizens of the community. Everybody in the community feels like they need to feel like you can approach and have a conversation with the sheriff and not get the impression that we don't have time for you, and not feel like you're intimidated because, well, we're a law enforcement. You know, you're the top law enforcement representative in the county. There should be no reason to feel like you're intimidated by that. We're just people. Just come have a conversation, express your opinions, your views, ask questions, and we can have a real discussion about how we can make things better for the future.
Right. I'd just like to throw out as well that, yeah, Bluegrass is a great little hub on the west side over here. I live in Walcott myself. But if you live somewhere else in the county, or even if you don't live in the county and you just want to come hang out for a day, feel free to come down. I know that Chris is from LeClaire. He's coming all the way over. And I know we've probably got a couple other people in LeClaire that are going to be coming as well. Everybody feel free to come out. The only way that we're going to get stronger as a campaign is to hear what everybody else is worried about. Any concerns that you want to bring up. If there is something specifically that you don't like that's happening in the community right now, this is your opportunity to have your voice be heard with somebody that is directly running for that office and can affect change in that way. As a side note, again, I know we say this a lot, but if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out. We're going to be answering a couple questions that we had come in through Chris's Facebook here in a little bit, but we're always open to that. Chris can't know everything that the community cares about. Chris has the things that he believes can steer the department in the correct direction, but if there's a large segment of the community that is very concerned about a specific topic and he doesn't know about it, he can't change it. So we like to continue to push for people to voice their opinion and ask questions so that we can address them, because we have some ideas on what we'd like to talk about on here to get the campaign's views out to the public, but we can't hit on everything that everybody's concerned about if we don't know what you're concerned about. So just another plug to reach out if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, positive or negative. We're pretty open to everything.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to answer any questions. I'll answer any question as truthfully and honestly as I absolutely can. Sometimes people don't like my opinion. A lot of times people do. I try to look at everything from the common sense approach. And sometimes when I've made a decision to do something, you know, that decision isn't always in the best benefit for everybody. So only through a good concerted discussion can people sit down and come up with a way of moving forward to accomplish what we need to accomplish. No one way is always the right way. It has to be buy-in from everybody to make sure that we make the right decision moving forward. Couple more events that we're looking at and are in the planning stages right now. April 13th, we're looking at doing a spring formal dinner, or a gala, if you want to call it that. We're going to be sending out invites to that and hopefully have a good keynote speaker on that. We're working through that as well. But if you just wanted to come out, have a nice sit-down dinner, and we're not going to bore you with long speeches and everything else, you know, of course we are going to speak, but we're going to put a time limit on it, because people don't want to come out and sit around and listen to somebody go on and on and on forever all night long. But come out, enjoy yourselves, have a good time, bring your spouse along. enjoy a good dinner. We're working through that and in the planning stages right now, but we're looking into April 13th on that. And then possibly doing another steak dinner in May. There is some discussion on that as well. More details to follow. Nothing is confirmed or locked in on that as far. But what is locked in and what is confirmed is that June 4th is the primary election. If you're a Democrat, if you're an independent, if you're a Republican, and you want to see change in the Scott County Sheriff's Office, and you want to see it moving forward in a positive direction, and you want to see discipline, ethics, and morals instilled and followed in this law enforcement agency, then you need to come out on June 4th, pull a Republican ballot, and then vote for Chris Lay. Chris Lay for leadership is how we're going to bring the Sheriff's Office forward and prepare it for the next generation.